know, I ain't really did this type of, vlog right here in a while, and I keep telling myself I'm gonna start doing more of these. I really am. Especially right now, I definitely do gotta do it because at first I wasn't gonna really share this story and put it out there. But you know what? When you're in the independent contracting world, doing deliveries and stuff, new people that's coming in here, they need to know about this. And what I'm talking about is pretty much my contract ended. Yeah, my contract is ended. Yeah. And it will happen. You just got to make sure you got all your eggs lined up in a basket. You got to make sure you got money saved to the side. Even though, people that's already doing this contracting, let me put the windows up. Y'all might have a hard time hearing me. But yeah, you definitely got to make sure you already got your eggs lined up in a basket. Even if, your vehicle kept breaking down on you, because that's the issues I was having. My first van, I caught for anybody that watched my old videos, I caught a high interest rate on it, let me say that. And then after me, I ain't gonna lie, I got probably about a good 2 years out of it. And then my transmission went out on me, so I ended up having to invest in a transmission. That's a little downtime, missing work. Gotta rent another van to cover me up, to cover for that route for that. I think it was down for it was 2 weeks. Yeah. See, and another good thing is, if you got family members or you got somebody that's a mechanic in your family, make sure you bless them and look out for them. Yeah, because that, great salutes to my Uncle Dooney, even my Uncle Ron. I know y'all might have seen him in one of my old videos called The Junkyard Dog, so that's all we need to say about that one. But anyways, even my Uncle Ron, it's good to have mechanics on your side, man. Because when you got mechanics on your side, no matter what, you can get the parts. I mean, you still pay them, still look out for them, whatever. But they can squeeze you in. I mean, that's if you got a good relationship with them. But they can squeeze you in, and get you in and out in a reasonable and a timely manner. And sometimes they might be able to, push some of their other work to the side just to help you out. But I also was going to go up there and help out my uncle, but he said he got it, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't no mechanic. I know how to change brakes, I know how to change my spark plugs, my wires, I know how to change my oil, I know how to change tires, just the little basics. But as far as doing all the extra engine work, oh yeah, and I also know how to change my filters, you know what I'm saying? My air filters, yeah. Like I said, the basics. But it's always good to at least have a good mechanic on your side. And the reason why he didn't want me to, pretty much get in the middle of all that, because when a man is mastering his full talent, his full expertise, they don't need no distractions. They don't need nobody in the way that's going to hold them back from getting the job done efficiently and quickly. They don't need that. And I truly understand, because with me doing this independent contracting, that's how I am. I'll train a person, but it has to be the right person. And I got to make sure that person won't be there every day and be a hard-working person. But you train a person, because I know how it is. I had a little cousin that needed a job. I tried to let him do it. And, I mean, he was doing real good for a while until, I guess, he bit off a little bit too much he couldn't handle. He didn't understand that it's timely and it takes a lot out of you. And sometimes you end up missing some of your kids, baseball practices, basketball practices, you know what I'm saying? Even though you don't want to, it takes a lot out of you. It really does. And it's not for everybody, which I truly understand that. But anyways, so I definitely understand where my uncle is, where he was coming from on that. But now with this contractor thing, like I said, you got to make sure that you definitely got things lined up and set up and sit to the side. Now, thankfully, I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't no stock trader, I ain't no crypto trader. I'm trying to get into the crypto trading, but I did invest into little parts of certain crypto. So, I got some money sit over there to the side. Got a little money in the bank account. So I was able to, how can I say it? Able to pivot somewhat. I'm still in the transaction phase, transitioning phase. I'm still in that phase, whatever, right now. And I'm gonna be honest with you. This is my last week with this company, with Apria Healthcare. I'm contracted through, a company, a logistic company, or whatever. But this right here, this is the main company. The reason why I'm wearing that uniform, because when I go to houses, certain people's houses, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, some people, they be like, "Who is this?" Because we're contracted through Spoke, whatever. And they like, "Who is that company?" Especially when they see Apria phone, phone number come across the screen. They just want to know who in the world you are. So and a lot of times, make sure you wear your uniforms. And you can have the name tags, which is supposed to be give me the name tags, but a lot of times people don't pay no attention to those name tags. They'll see a name, but they won't see Spoke and Apria Healthcare. And make sure it's visible. Make sure it's like in big bold letters, because the ones they gave us is like small writing. I told them about it. I ain't hear nothing back from them. Oh well, I ain't mad at them. It is what it is. That's just small minor things. So, eventually me and that boss, me and this female boss, Lucy, I ain't gonna lie, she good people. So she pretty much was like, "Hey, look, you go wear our uniforms. There's no problem. Good to go." I ain't gonna lie, she actually loved my work ethic. And she loved how I was doing things. And she wanted me to come down with them. But the money, it just couldn't work out, the money situation. I was like, nah. So pretty much what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start getting on these gig apps. And I'm gonna show y'all my journey about how we transition from independent contract, which I'm still doing independent contracting. I'm just going from just the contract work, direct contract work, to the gig apps, to the gig work, if that makes sense. Where I get to be able to pick and choose what stops I want, when I want to do it, if I want to work that day, if I don't want to work that day, which y'all know me. And if you don't know me, you'll find out that, hey, look, I'm in full grind mode. I'm a hustler. I'm a single father. Got full custody over my daughter right now. I'm gonna make it work. I'm gonna make it happen by any means necessary. And you should do the same too, by any means necessary. Make it work. Make it happen for your kids, man. But I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna make it work. Now, I'm thinking that this definitely could be a good thing, because I've been wanting to get from underneath the Spoke umbrella a little bit, because I'm gonna be honest with you. My daily pay with them was like $280 a day, and the contract said that was when I had the regular cargo van, because I just had a regular Chevy cargo van. But they said if you get a high roof transit van or a sprinter van, they said that they could up the pay a little bit. So, once my transmission and stuff, well, no, I had already had my transmission fixed, because that was from the last contract I had. Then my lifters went out on that van, so the van started going super slow, which it was still working, but it was just going real slow, and then it lost a lot of power, didn't hardly have any power. So I had to just go ahead and I had to figure a couple of things out. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all too. If you're trying to be a part of this independent contracting world, you can have stuff just pop up on you like that, man. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was almost done with the payments, but I wasn't fully done with the payments. I think I might have had probably like 7 more months left on the payments. So I still had to, pay that. And I still had to have full coverage. So that kind of, kicked me in the butt a little bit, but I was able to manage it. I was able to, make things work. Like I said, those relationships, man, you got to keep those good relationships with your mechanics, keep good relationships with other people, because when you have times like that, I'm saying? Like, they can give you certain gig jobs or certain other jobs so you can help out certain people. You know, just make sure you keep those relationships open. But what happened was, you know, my van it went down. So, of course, I still had the contract. So I'm like, man, I still got to get this contract done some kind of way. I still got to get this contract done. I can't let it go. Can't mess up my daggone business name. So I'm like, nah, we ain't going like that. So I think maybe did I have to get it? Yeah, I had to get a rental van or whatever. I think it was for like 3 days. Yeah, 3 days I had to get a rental van for Enterprise. Went to Enterprise, got a rental van. Then within that time span, I was already kind of searching, trying to look and trying to find other vans. Then that's when I came across this van right here. So, well, actually, it was a different van that I seen on their website. It was a pretty decent price in my price range. You know, the payments, I just had to make sure the payments was, you know, at a decent price because I was still paying for the other van. And I still had to get the other van fixed on top of that. Paying commercial insurance. Yeah. So, for those who don't understand, commercial insurance is way higher than regular personal insurance. I'm just being honest with you. So I had to do all that on top of everything. So I eventually went to the website, I seen a van that I like, it was in my price range. And you know how you do those little meters where you can determine what your payment might be? And you still don't get the full accuracy payment because you gotta give your social security number and all that. And I wasn't doing it online. I wanted to see him in person before I wanted to physically see him before I give any other type of information out. So I went online, put that in. They said that my price range would be say around like what 280, 290, 300, somewhere around there. That wasn't bad because my other van was around like 388. Then I was able to get it financed, and then they dropped my price down to 160 a month. So that was good. That was real good. That definitely helped me out, to be honest with you. And that's another thing. Make sure that you stay, if you paying payments, make sure you stay in good standings with these people. Make sure you paying payments on time. Even if you're running a little late, just talk to them. Don't run from them, man. You gotta pay it. You know what I'm saying? You was being a man, you was man enough to go and get the vehicle. Now make sure you're man enough to go ahead and pay for that vehicle. So that's my mindset. It's always been my mindset. So I'm like, all right, I gotta make sure I pay this. I still gotta pay this. So I messed around, went in there, checked out that van online. I liked it. It was good. I wanted a little longer van, but you know, for then I was like, man, it'll work for me. So I went in there, went to talk to the people. When I got in there, people was like, oh, yeah. Well, it was a lady. She was like, yeah, we got them vans. We got plenty of those. I was like, no, but I want the van that I seen online. I want that van. Oh, okay, all right, yeah. So, stuff was kind of already a little fishy. I gotta turn the heat on. Anybody know? It's DMV weather, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's DMV weather. DMV weather can get real reckless, real hot, especially summertime. Turn on the AC a little bit. But I went in there and she was like, yeah, we can get you in that van. We can definitely have that van. That van's still on lot. So when it came time, she was showing me paperwork, how much it would be and all this. And after that, once it came time to see the vehicle, she went and I guess talked to one of the guys that was out there, you know, I don't know, not the mechanic, but I guess it was the lot person, clean the cars and bring the cars out, you know, detailing. It might have been a detailing guy, I'm not really for sure. But anyway, she went and told him to pull the van around so I could see it. He said, no, we don't have the van. Right there, I should have known. There was something wrong. I should have known. Once he said that, I'm like, all right, y'all communication skills not even on point. Like, y'all don't even communicate. So I should have known. But at that time, like I told y'all, I was in need. I needed a vehicle at the time. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead. I said, let me go ahead and just see and check. I wasn't gonna pull the trigger on buying it just that quick. Like, I still got test drive. I got to let my mechanic uncle check it out and everything. So I was like, well, let me just go ahead and see. Let me check this out. So she was like, well, we ain't got that one, but we got other ones. I was like, all right, okay. I was like, well, I said I still need it within that price range of what I seen the other man. So she went through it. She seen one. It was a little bit above my price range. Then she seen another. She said, oh, okay, well, this one right here, this is at your price range. I said, well, how much would the payments be? She said, well, this one, she said, well, we can definitely go over everything, and then we can go and figure things out. If you like it, she said, let's check it out first, and if you like it, then we can go and talk about the payments. So I was like, all right, okay, I understand that. So I went over there and I seen it. First, when I seen it, it was like a lot of sticky stuff on the top of the front is a transit van, Transit 250. I seen a lot of sticky stuff at the top of the roof. It looked like it was like a dent in it, but it really wasn't that bad. Then she had blue tape going across the windshield. That should have been an indicator that, hey, look, something ain't right. But I got to talking to her and asking about it. She said, yeah, the windshield just been replaced. I said, well, why was the windshield replaced? She said, oh, well, we had an incident at the what she said, we had an incident at the shop where I guess a rocket hit it or something, and they had to change it. They had to replace it like that. So I said, all right, okay. I guess that's noticeable. I understand that. So I'm looking around, looking at the vehicle. I mean, everything else looked pretty good. Wasn't no big dings or no big, scratch marks or big, anything that was super noticeable that it was an accident, anything like that. I ain't seen none of it. Doors open up good. The miles, I think it was like 141,000 miles. So I'm like, okay, it's still not bad. I know I ain't gonna get no low miles. I said, but if I can get a decent amount, you know what I'm saying, it ain't too bad. As long as the price is good. So I went on here and I told her, I said, yeah, I like what I see. So I said, got a test drive it? She's like, yeah. She's like, but we gotta get your license and all that. So I gave her license, all that information. So we went from there. So next thing you know, went on ahead and pull over fire truck coming. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on a second. But I messed around and I gave her the information and stuff, and she went on ahead and took it. So I was like, yeah, let me test drive it. So I just want to drive it up. So I went and test drive it, took it on 95, tested it, pushed it a little bit, you know what I'm saying, just to make sure it was standing up, make sure it was a solid vehicle. Vehicle was running decent. Just heard a little vibration. There's a little vibration in it. So I'm like, what in the world is that? But it was only a vibration once you got up to a certain high rate of speed. When you was down, I said probably about 45, really wasn't too much. But once you got like 55, 65, 70, somewhere around up in there, that's when you get that vibration a little bit more. So I'm like, all right, okay. I said, so I'm gonna go ahead and let her know about this, which they probably already know. Ain't no problem, they already know. So I said, well, fuck it, I'm gonna use that as a negotiation process. You know what I'm saying? Try to negotiate something. So I went on ahead, got the vehicle, whatever. Took it down to my uncle's house. My uncle, he checked it out. He put the computers on it and everything. Read that it was a decent vehicle. Didn't see no issues, no problems. My uncle, to be honest with you, granted, my uncle, he got his own shop. This man, he been a mechanic for over 40-something years. So he know what he doing. He know what he talking about. So took his word, knew everything was good. Messed around, took it back to her. I was like, all right, okay, I like what I see, this and that. So I was like, can I get the prices knocked down a little bit, this and that? I said, because the windshield, then it's vibrating a little bit. She tried to act dumbfounded on the vibration a little bit. I told her, I took a video. See, and always make sure too when you go to the dealership, make sure you take a video. So I took a video of it rumbling. You can hear rumbling at a high rate of speeds. So she said, "Oh, I didn't know that." I said, "Yeah." I said, "And I'm gonna be honest with you. I really came in to see another van. But you remember this was the van that you had out there for me." I said, "But I can't really, can't do nothing with this. If the van gonna be like that, because I already have issues." I said, "Can you drop the price?" So I think she knocked off maybe 2,000, maybe 2,000 or 2,800. 2,000 or 2,800. I gotta look at the paperwork. Remember? So I was like, alright, okay, she knocked off some money. My uncle said everything else was pretty good. Something like that little vibration. They didn't know, but I'm like, alright, okay, I can get uncle, go ahead and fix that. Whatever it is. Because it wasn't vibrating that bad. It wasn't doing it that bad. So next thing you know, I'm like, well, shoot. I can definitely go ahead and take it. I can go ahead and do it. She was like, when you want to do it? I said, hey, look, I want to do it today. Granted, she ain't understand. I'm still paying payments on this daggone enterprise thing. I needed something right then and there. I needed something, 3 days ago. Actually, a whole week ago. But, it is what it is. Sometimes, things don't work out like it's planned. Sometimes it just don't work out like it's supposed to. But she ain't know all that. You ain't gotta tell all that. But I been needed something. So I was like, well, shoot, let me go ahead and take a chance on this. I was like, she knocked off some money. He ran the payment, prices or whatever. And I got a low interest rate. That's one good thing, I'll be honest with you. I got a real super low interest rate on it too. So that's what helped out my process. I'm like, shoot. I got a low interest rate. They willing to knock off that. I said, okay. I said, well, I guess I can deal with that little small stuff right there. It wasn't nothing big. So I thought so. It wasn't nothing big. So next thing you know, I was like, well, shoot, I can deal with it. I said, I can take it. So next thing you know, I went on ahead and started getting the paperwork and everything straight or whatever. And she was like, well, we got to fix the other thing. I was like, all right, okay. Oh, yeah. And I forgot to tell y'all, too, it didn't have a mirror. Did not have a mirror, like rear view mirror. It didn't have a rear view mirror in the middle. And they said that was mainly because they said that the old one was messed up. And they was like, they'll fix it. So they wrote that down that they was gonna fix that. They was gonna take care of that. So I was like, all right, okay. Fix the rear view mirror. And it's a screen that goes for the backup camera. That was just as simple too. So me and my uncle was saying that they must have took it off and put it on another vehicle. They had this van just sitting up to the side. So he was like, all right, well, if I can at least get, my payments down, this and that, we can go with it. So then they got the fishing around. They found a payment for me. I think it was with $235. No, not 230. I'm tripping. $435. I was like, man, I really want to get lower. No, at first they tried to hit me with 8. That's what it was. They tried to hit me with 8 something. Yep. They tried to hit me with like 800 and something. I said, man, heck, nah, I can't do that right now. Nah, I'm not doing no 8. I got to pay for this, and I'm paying for my other van, and I still got to get commercial insurance on both of them, and the other van still got to get fixed. Nah, and I got to pay rent, and I got to take care of my baby girl. Come on, man, there's no way. Nah, So I told him, nah, I can't do that. And it was like, well, we can lower the price. We can get it lowered down to 6. I said, man, I still can't do it. I said, if you can, at least get. They was like, well, what price is work for you? I said, I really wanted 3 something, like 3. And I get like 340, 330, somewhere around there. Because I know I ain't gonna be super duper low because my credit is okay, but it wasn't the best at that time. I think, it was still like at 7 something. I think I was like at 715, 720. But I just got over paying off this credit card. But you know how it is. Credit reports take a little longer, so I got another hard inquiry pull from them doing what they did. So I knew that was gonna break it down a little bit. So they was like, well, we can do 425. Well, they said they could go a little lower, but they was like, your interest rate's gonna be super high. So I was like, yeah, let me go ahead because I wanted to keep the interest rate up. I think it was like 9%. I think it was 9% interest rate, 8 or 9% interest rate. So I wanted to keep it around, but then it was like, yeah. So we got that, went and did that. So I ended up getting a vehicle or whatever. And I'm gonna tell you the rest of the story in my other video, but I'm gonna get back to this contracting thing. I messed around. The reason why I told you all that though, because when you getting into this contracting world, certain things like that, a wrench can get thrown in your plans and throw you all the way off. But what you will not do and what you can't do, you can't let that sidetrack you. You gotta stay focused. You gotta keep your mind set on that goal that you was trying to achieve and that goal that you are going to achieve. You gotta think about those babies. You gotta keep on pushing. It's gonna get tough. It's gonna get hard. But you gotta keep on pushing. You gotta keep on striving, man. Because if you give up, guess what? The babies, who they gonna have to be there for? Who gonna be there for them? If you give up and you not being your full potential, you not doing your fullest, who gonna be there for them babies? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're in a situation where your child don't have the other parent around, and the other parent ain't, trying to be a part of the child's life. That baby focusing on you, and she depending on you, or he depending on you. So you got to get it by any means necessary. So, with that being said, like I said, don't give up, because you're going to have little crap that's going to get thrown in your way. You got to keep on striving, keep on pushing, and keep on trying to be positive. You got to be positive. You got to keep that uplifting mindset and keep doing research on finding different gear gaps. That's how I was able to find these different gear gaps. I had already heard about them and stuff, but it's just that with me doing this, Abra is a medical oxygen company delivering high oxygen equipment, medical equipment. So this stuff, have your own call and all that stuff, takes a lot of your time. And with me getting paid $280 a day, 280 is okay, but it really should be like $350 every bit of it. But in that contract that I was signing or whatever through Swoop, he said if you get a high roof transit van, then the prices will go up to I think it was like $325, which that would have been still pretty decent, because the 25 and 325, that would have covered my gas, and then I would have got that extra. But at 280, that would have been, pretty much like extra money going in my pocket. So I would have did that for a while, because eventually, I was always going to get my own delivery service, just grow my own delivery service by passing out my cards to different customers and stuff. So I told them that I got the transit van, Spoke Company. These fools wanted me to jump through the loophole to show them all the proof on this and proof on that, which I understand that, I truly do, because I guess people probably can lie and scam and make it seem like this and that. So I went on ahead, showed them the pictures, showed them I got this, showed them my registration, showed them my insurance and all that. But these fools did not get back to me until, I said, probably about 2 weeks or 2 weeks and a half after I had sent that out there to them. And then they were saying that they couldn't do it for some kind of reason, made up some type of excuse. See, and that's the thing about when you get with contracting companies, they always got little loopholes they always try to throw in there. They always try to be a little slick and sneaky. Like, I never took off from work, like, talking about it, not unless if I was super sick, or not unless if I had to do something that was super serious, where, like with the court situation, I was going through the court situation. I always made sure it was cool with the head boss at Abra, and she always told me, yo, you're fine. And I would work some weekends, because I'm not supposed to be working weekends. I'm only Monday through Friday. So I would work some weekends just to make up the day that I missed that week. So I made it up. I even did on call for it sometimes. So I made those days up. But Spoke, they still act like they didn't want to give me and pay me this money. So I say that to say this. There's always a reason why that man up above or some higher entity always put you in certain situations. And don't look at it as being a bad thing. Look at it as being an opportunity. But it's an opportunity to a person that's really going to be a hustler and really go out here and truly get it. And make sure that they do whatever it takes to get this money. And that means I got to go to this gig work. That's what I'm going to do. gonna sell on Shopify. I'm gonna sell on Shopify. That means I'm gonna sell on Amazon. I'm gonna sell on Amazon. I'm gonna get it by any means necessary. If I gotta do catering, I'm gonna do catering. I'm gonna get this money. Trust me. Trust and believe. And like I said, I'm gonna keep y'all updated on these videos. I know I wouldn't be consistent showing y'all this journey through this and that. But what it was too, I'm gonna be honest with you, my cell phone, I was always taking pictures, snapping pictures, doing videos, you know, for customers working for Spoke Africa, because I always needed to have these serial numbers and this and that, so it was so much more convenient just snap pictures. But sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, they give you like 14, 15 stops, they was working the crap out of me, which I don't mind being worked the crap out of, but not for that little bit of money, not for $280, man. It's just not worth it. It just ain't worth it. I mean, it beats a blank. It was a job at the end of the day, but you're not gonna keep on working me into the ground. And I know my value and I know my worth. So it is what it is. I got to go. I can't stay. Ain't getting no shit. I ain't getting no younger, getting older. And guess what? My bank account ain't getting no larger dealing with them. So I gotta keep on going. Yeah, I gotta keep on moving. But like I said, once you figure out all the information and you get all the right resources and stuff to work on these different gigs or find you a different hustle, and even if you're getting into the crypto, man, to be honest with you, y'all might want to check into this crypto, because right now this is the time to really get your research on and get into the game, especially prices are dropping low. That's when you want to buy. You want to buy when the prices are dropping real low. You don't want to buy when the price is high. That's the time when you want to sell. So I'm stacking up on that too. Well, you know, like I said, I'm gonna keep y'all posted. I'm gonna start making more videos. And oh yeah, and the reason I couldn't make that many videos is because my storage on my phone. Because I'm only using my phone right now, which I'm gonna invest into like I guess like a GoPro or something like that. So I ain't gotta worry about having all the storage on my phone. And I got a lot of content that I didn't upload. I'm gonna start uploading that too. Yeah, this is just, you know, another day in the life of BA's journey. And I'm going to take y'all along across on my journey, man. Like I said, I'm going to teach y'all and I'm going to show y'all how this gig world works too. The independent contracting is good. You just got to make sure you get a good price point, man. That's the main thing. Get a good price point. Make sure that they not sending y'all way out in bumfuck Egypt. Make sure that you ain't going way out there. Doing way more miles, and make sure they paying you a good price on miles too. That's another thing. Make sure you're getting a good price on miles, and make sure if you is getting a good price on miles, make sure they don't keep you trapped in one little certain box where you're not getting over the mileage that you need to get. Because they'll try to those little tricky games too. They'll try to play those little games. But like I said, I can't knock their hustle. Hey, look, that's their hustle. I can't knock it. You just won't be tricking me no more. Nah, I can't go for it no more. Nah. But anyways, like I said, I hope y'all have an amazing day, have an amazing week. Matter of fact, I'm gonna come back in here sometime before the week's over with. I'm gonna drop another video. But I just hope that y'all having a great day, man. Y'all go out there and be the best version of yourself. And I'm gonna give you an update on how things going with me. Alright, I love y'all. Hopefully y'all can stay, y'all can support me, you know, in my journey, and I'm gonna show the love back to y'all also. We all out here, we gotta grind, we gotta keep on going, we gotta keep hustling.